Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just wanted to share a few observations I've had about life in the last week or so. Now, the first one that's rather poignant is that I've decided that it is really pretty much impossible to not be woefully embarrassed anytime you're wearing onesie footy pajamas. And I know this because my grandma bought me adult, giant onesie footy pajamas. And my first thought was, fuck yes, these are awesome. I'm going to be so comfortable. These are great. Now, that's the first thought. That's the thought that you guys probably have at home when you're sitting there in your regular clothes and you see that lunatic in the blue feety pajamas on the couch sitting there leaning back, like not even clicking the right buttons on the remote, like a real douche. You know the commercial I'm talking about. You watch that and you're like, man, that guy kind of looks like a douche, but whatever. He looks pretty comfortable right there. But what they don't show you in the commercial is the feeling of self-loathing and the sudden desire to sprint to an insane asylum and jump into a padded room that also comes along with putting feety pajamas on. Now, they don't mention that. All you get is the childlike wonder, because all you have to go by with the footed pajamas is what they were like as a kid. When you had those as a kid, they were awesome. You were warm. You could run around. You could boogie down up and down the stairs. Didn't even matter. You could go play outside or something. It didn't matter. You could run around with it. Did not matter. You didn't even understand social nuance. So if somebody was staring at you, look at that lunatic, little kid in a onesie or footy pajamas, you could just be like, fuck you, I'm a little kid. Or you wouldn't say that. You'd probably say, get out of here, shithead, or something more age appropriate. But that's my point, is when I got it and I put it on, even around people that I knew, kind of my family, just standing there in this big baggy baby suit, not baby suit, it had beer bottles and cans on it, which is pretty funny of my grandma. But just standing there, and this thing is just Jesus, I feel like I escaped from the loony bin. That's what you feel like. You feel like you escaped from the loony bin. And the worst thing, aside from that, is you can't freaking pee in these things. You have to, go into the mirror and then zip down the whole front of it and go pee like that. And you just look like a fucking pedophile when you're sitting there with, the big, footy pajamas unzipped, you see your chest hair right there, and you're like, oh my god, I'm a freaking adult. I'm wearing this? And so even now it's it's so comfortable. I wanna wear this around my apartment or something when it's just me. But it's so ingrained in shame. I took it off last night. I put it on for 30 minutes last night by myself, doing nothing, studying, and I couldn't even focus on studying. I just felt such a pang of self-reproach, just oh my god, Taylor, really? Really? It was the first out-of-body experience I ever had. I was hovering over my own body, seeing the extent to which I was being a complete faggot in this footy pajamas. Now, and at the same time, you don't want to get out of them. You don't want to get out of them. It's toasty in there. It's comfortable. It's great. But, at the same time, self-respect just kind of, excuse me, supersedes warmth sometimes. Let me have a drink of water like I'm a talk show host. Okay. I guess that's pretty much all I had to say about the onesie footy pajama thing. Wow, that went on longer than I thought. But the other very important thing that I've noticed in the last few days is that no matter what you're wearing, what your job is, who you are, minus one missing tooth from any individual, and they will look like a raving lunatic. 100% sure. I saw a man, and, bless his heart, I'm sure that he's a nice dude, but he was walking downtown, excuse me, in my college town today, and he smiled, and he just was missing a tooth. And he was wearing a nice suit, too. He was wearing a nice suit, smiled, no tooth, and it just struck me. It was wow, at any other point in time, if that guy had another tooth right there, he'd be an attractive dude. Girls would probably be shooting glances at him, thinking he's pretty sexy in his nice Barney Stinson suit. But whenever he smiles and you see he has one missing tooth, it immediately goes from, who's that suave mofo over there who's dressed like a, guy who's on the hunt, to, oh my god, who is that, slickly dressed serial killer or, serial rapist who is going to come and try and hunt me down in my sleep and, tickle my nose and shit while I'm asleep in bed, or whatever those kind of people do. I wouldn't know, obviously. So, yeah, I realized that, and you don't think about it until you see someone who looks classy and then has a missing tooth. It's a very rare juxtaposition of things. Usually, it just goes without saying. The person without a tooth, they have one overall strap over, they're kind of not very good hygiene, looking not very good. That's fine. You see that, and you don't even need to see their tooth to know they're a piece of shit. Now, you're not a piece of shit, but more of a piece of shit than this guy with no tooth. On a spectrum of no toothness, that guy is pretty high. But keep in mind, that spectrum, even the highest person with only one front tooth, is still not as high as the lowest person with 2 front teeth. Because at the very least, if you got the 2 front teeth going, you don't look like a lunatic. So that's what I've realized. And really, if you are listening out there, sir, with the 1 tooth, that sucks. You should try and get that taken care of. I'm sure it's expensive, though. But also, man, just like tone down how you're dressing. People won't stare as much if they aren't blown away by the fact that you look like Barney Stinson with 1 tooth. Just settle down. Just dress like a normal fuck. Maybe throw in a mouth guard, something like that. Get a chiclet, like in that Dennis the Menace movie. So yeah, that's the plan that I would give to him. This obviously an anonymous listener of mine. Well, that's about all I have to say. I hope this helped, and you guys garnered some knowledge from this. Love you.